Welcome back. You're with us on Morning News Hour, and this is the top story we're tracking. He's already facing allegations of sexual misconduct, and now the Tamil Nadu governor, Banwarilal Purohit, has dug the grave deeper for himself with his patronizing response to a journalist during a press conference. The incident took place when the governor was asked a question by this lady journalist regarding allegations against him, when he, instead of answering, chose to pat the lady's cheek. The scribe claimed that he touched her without consent. Shabir Ahmed is joining me now on the phone line from Chennai. Shabir, since that incident took place in the press conference, there have been a few developments, including a letter which has been written by Tamil Nadu journalists demanding an apology from the governor.
Well, that's right. The governor seems to have sparked yet another controversy. There is a letter that has been written to the governor demanding an apology from him for his inappropriate behavior. And even as we speak, this particular issue is now, has snowballed into a major controversy, a political controversy. The DMK has announced agitations against the governor. Today there will be an agitation outside the Raj Bhavan at 10 a.m. And apart from that, there are other political groups, women groups, and unions have also, planned agitations outside Raj Bhavan. So clearly, this particular behavior by the governor has not gone down well with the journalists there across Tamil Nadu, and all of them have condemned this particular behavior of the governor. But clearly, the governor says that this was just a gesture to try and appreciate the journalists, but that is not how it is, done in a public place. So clearly, the journalist is outraged, and they are contemplating to take some kind of legal action as well, is what we are being told.
All right, Shabir, keep a close watch on that story. Thanks very much for the moment for getting us these details. Let's in fact debate this. Should the governor apologize? Should the constitutional head of a state not know his boundaries? Let me bring in our guests who are joining us on Morning News Hour now. Mr. Muralidharan, who's a political analyst, and an activist, Mr. Alexander, will also be joining us via the phone line. But if I can come to you, Mr. Muralidharan, first, what do you have to say about the conduct of the governor? Does it shock you, and isn't it ironical that in a press conference, which was actually called by the governor to fight the sexual misconduct charges against him in that taped conversation with a college professor, this incident takes place?
Okay, first thing, let me clarify, it was the tape conversation was not with him. It was with somebody, the girls, and between the professor. Okay,
yeah, but his name drops in that conversation, and there was clarification that he was trying to issue.
Yeah, he was trying to issue a clarification on what action being taken. Okay, people raked up saying that there's the content talking about higher officials which the girls have to satisfy or whatever, something like that.
So my question to you is actually not about that story. I want to know what about this conduct of the governor? How would you justify this?
The conduct of the guy, he's a 78-year-old man, and she's like sub 30 or probably late 30s, ladies in their late 20s. Tapping girls' cheek, yes, it's inappropriate, but I don't think you would have meant anything wrong. Now, if at all she had a problem, I think she should have objected then and there. What's the point coming out of that place and tweeting about it?
No, why can't you object about it later? You might be in a state of shock at that particular time. You might be feeling intimidated. You can come about and complain about it and tweet about it later. I think that's a very wrong line that you are taking, Mr. Muralidharan. Let me bring in Mr. Alexander now.
Yes, I'm not saying
let me get the other voice as well, who's joining us on the phone line. Mr. Alexander, can the governor get away by claiming that this was a paternal gesture?
No, definitely not. How a governor at that role can say that it is a gesture, right? See, first of all, he has to do the honor. But it is not that, because yesterday also, even in the press meet, you can say that he was just setting up the senior reporter. And the reporter has claimed that he is not in for it. Right? And you can see that he has said that even if I watch 10 times, I'm not going to feel that he is not touching. Right? Even in a press meet, he is doing that, right? And there are a lot of controversial which is happening for last one day yesterday, especially on this particular case. And he himself came forward and said, first of all, he will do discussions, and he nominated a person to take it forward. But why he is so much interested in putting a person from his side to take out the justice immediately? Why not? It has gone to CBI. It has gone to CBI CID, but it has not gone to CBI till now. So I believe there is a lot of underlying things which is there. There should be a proper justice happen, right? And this is one of the worst cases which I've seen in the Tamil Nadu as of now, especially on the education system. How can this lady can call up somebody and say that if you want to mark or if you want to go high, you need to go and do all these things? Right? It's completely unacceptable. And I think the government of the Chief Justice has to
exactly
look at
the
that.
sentiment, Mr. Muralidharan, that the journalists of Tamil Nadu are also voicing. They have also written a letter to the governor. And if I can just quote from that letter for you, and then you can, frame your reply on that. Your action today in touching the cheek of a senior lady journalist while she was asking a question to you was patronizing at best and a violation of her rights as a woman at worst. Why would you, why would the governor indulge in a conduct like that, which is actually threatening the private space of a lady?
See, and also one
No,
quick
Mr.
thing, right?
Alexander,
How
I
we
want
can
to
touch
talk.
the lady.
I want to
Yeah.
take a response from
Even
Mr.
without
Muralidharan.
Definitely, you should,
Mr. Alexander,
demand an
just hold on.
apology.
I want to take a
That's
response
your
from Mr.
right.
Muralidharan.
But having said that, what I want to tell you is, see, it's a country where we have, we have a culture of hugging people. Now, when cricketers of yesteryears used to come to India, they used to feel bad. What are these guys hugging another guy? But over a period, they got over it. Even foreigners hug each other now, the foreign cricketers. Now,
Is
that's
the press
culture we have
conference
been
where
brought up.
somebody is
Now,
asking you a
if you
direct
talk
question, a
about,
place to
this
hug and
incident.
give a pat on the cheek? What sort of an explanation is that?
No, I don't. It's not talking about hugging and kissing. I mean, what you need to understand.
The lady has simply asked a
forward-thinking
question to the
scenario like
governor.
today.
What was the need to
you're
pat
talking
her
about gay rights.
cheek?
You talk
Why
about
can't you simply
bisex.
reply?
You're talking about LGBT rights. You're talking about LGBT right, gay sex, and one man touches your cheek, and all of you, the hell breaks
These are
loose.
bizarre,
you have a problem with
bizarre
ATM cashless,
justifications that you are giving, Mr. Muralidharan. I'm sorry, it's absolutely unacceptable. Thanks very much for voicing your opinion on that incident. Not appreciated, absolutely not. Mr. Alexander as well, thank you so much for joining us on this debate. I have to wrap up that.